I don't know why I whispered that, but okay.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about contraband.
Man. Never a dull day. Hello, Internet. Welcome back to Lines in the Lies. This is our Vecna Eve of Ruin Doing It Live campaign. I go by That Magic Juice. You'll probably hear these guys call me one of 3 different things, but that's my usual go-to. I'm going to be your host, GM, and General Cat Wrangler for the day. Let's go around the table, introduce ourselves and our characters. We have a pretty involved recap of what happened last time, and then we're going to get right into it. So Ash isn't here. Let's start with Andrea.
Hi, I'm Andrea. I'm playing Alaska Jane. She is a gnome paladin of Ioun. She is teeny tiny. Her dog Bones is here. She rides him into battle, and his perception is better than hers. Moving on to Logan.
Hello, I'm Logan. I go by Nerdwarudo on the internet. I'll be playing Kazan Kabar, the Clockwork Soul Sorcerer Warlock. You typically an agent of chaos in the material plane it's surrounding. But I don't know, we might be leading some peace talks in this couple coming sessions, so we'll see how that goes. I'll pass that down to Sam.
Hi, my name is Sam. I'm not on the internet much. I play Bostet Campbell. She is a Tabaxi, Eldritch Knight fighter, bard, College of Spirits. Yeah, there's a lot there. But she loves her family, and now everybody's her family because she got drunk one time. And yeah, she is now here and excited to kick ass and take names. So let's pass it over to Vic.
Hello, I'm Vic. I'm very aggressively not on the internet. And I am playing Odysseia, and she is a knowledge cleric, lore bard combo. She mostly reads books and likes to stay indoors. That's all.
Excellent. Okay, that's me.
Yeah, that's you.
That's you.
Okay, so back to what happened last time. I'm going to try to paraphrase this, but it's for a day in game. It got kind of deep. So we took the portal to Mount Ironrot in Eberron. I'm off to a great start.
We met with Mr. Eberron and his Eberron children.
Mr. Eberron.
Right.
And we encountered the anti-Eberrons.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Scene. Okay, here we go. Take 2. So we can see on the map we've got these colossi, which we knew we were going to see, these massive war machines that were used in the last war in Eberron. And as far as we know, they are just remains. You decided to go straight toward this camp you can see. And as a reminder, you can see like one layer at a time within, like from character point of view because of the fog and mist obscuring long distance view. But anyway, we go to this veterans camp and meet Kalith, who is the leader of a bunch of, I still don't know of a good way to say this, but I guess non-mechanical people
Sure.
that are veterans of the war. And you guys find out that she has a secret. You're trying to figure things out. Long story short, she is leading her veteran friends on expeditions to find valuables by scavenging throughout the area and then selling them at market, so that they can set themselves up for a better life than the wandering and scavenging that they have now. Turns out she used to have the means to do so, but in the midst of everything lost essentially a fortune. So you guys have agreed to, in exchange for whatever they can find as far as your mission goes, some protection for their next expedition to scavenge one of the colossi, because they have been getting attacked by Warforged in the area. You witnessed the aftermath of one of those attacks. You agreed to I'm saying update the deal. Kalith just gave you a docent in exchange for you guys going out on your own at first to investigate the last Colossus that this group came from, to see if you can figure out A, what happened, and B, how to mitigate further violence. So in doing that, you encounter a small group of Warforged that attack you. They fight to the death. Their essentially dying words are, the Lord of Blades will make mincemeat out of you. And then you do run into another Warforged who is A, alone, and B, not hostile.
Oh.
His name is Mercy. And we ended with him approaching you, essentially asking for your help for the sake of his people's survival. So we've got some conflicting things going on here. Is there anything else you guys want to add or correct if I made a mistake before we get right back into it?
When we first encountered Caliph and and her whole camp, we were in the middle of talking. A couple people that were injured from an expedition came and we healed them, and that's how we got into good graces, and like how we got sent out on this mission in the first place. Just tossing in some more detail.
Yes.
Yeah.
Had you not healed them, at least 2 of those veterans would have died. And the other would have been barely surviving. So that was a decision that definitely worked in your guys' favor.
Vic, you're muted.
Vic, you're muted.
Yeah, but you came in hot with like they are dying. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we quite literally cut off with like imagine the cinematic, viewpoint of like the party of 5 standing next to the one Warforged with like his little cape billowing in the wind, and he says, "I need your help for the survival of my people," and then we ended. So
he's purple, right?
yeah.
Yes.
Let's throw up his picture again, because he looks cool as fuck.
He was cool as fuck. Oh, they're in love.
You still have the picture of
It just makes me happy.
Beckers and Kaz.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I thought you were saying that about the Lord of Blades and Mercy. I was like, surely not.
They're in love. There he is.
There he is.
What a guy.
Yeah.
I've only just noticed the amount of digits Warforged have on their hands and feet, and I don't love it.
They're like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like robots.
He's a Warforged and a half shell.
That's so good.
God damn it.
That's so good. But
What
but instead of the soft material being on the inside and the hard material being on the outside, it's the opposite, because the cloak is all ragged and fucked up.
Yeah. What is the weapon he's holding? The real spiky one. Is that just a
Looks
javelin?
like a javelin.
Yeah, it's so javelins and swords.
Got it. Cool.
Fun.
This would look very similar to the setup that the 3 that attacked you had.
Ooh, don't love that.
Is that sword sparkling, or in the picture, is that just the reflection of
His
Mercy's body in the blade?
Yeah, it's a reflection of Mercy's
Okay.
body. Yeah.
Got it.
Cool detail though, right?
Yeah.
Nicely done.
Okay, so I don't mean to completely put you guys on the spot, but like the last
Sure.
exchange was, I forget
Yeah.
exactly what you asked, but it was something along the lines of, "What do you need our help for?" And his literal last words were, "For the survival of my people." We ended, so I feel like it's kind of on you to initiate what's next.
For sure.
Got it.
Well, it just so happens that we're in the process of trying to save another people as well, so I don't see why we would stop now. Would you like to give us some more details on the situation you're in?
Would that be the non-Warforged veterans that you speak of?
Yes.
We are at odds with each other, but I don't believe we need to be enemies when we have the Lord of Blades and her followers ravaging everyone and everything in their path. Would you like to discuss in safer space? And he just kind of turns and points to the Colossus that's just a little bit away from you guys.
I respectfully, we believe we just got attacked by 3 members of the Lord of the Blades, and we're pretty sure they came out of that Colossus. So I don't know if we're necessarily excited about going to that Colossus.
Yes, it was my company that chased them away.
Insight check?
Sure.
That's good.
Oh. Hell yeah, 9.
Yeah, so quite literally, Warforged can't make facial expressions, and at least this one's voice is pretty monotone, so he's very hard to read.
Mm.
What has the Lord of Blades done to your people?
My people oppose her authoritarian approach to how to handle the people of this area. We quite literally consider her company to be enemies. What is it that you are aiding the veterans with, may I ask?
Well, immediately right now, I believe it is taking care of the Lord of the Blades, right? Is that our immediate goal?
We're investigating the Colossus because they said that the Lord of Blades herself was here.
Okay.
So we're checking out that scene and seeing if like they're still around or that kind of stuff, which we kind of have an answer to now since Mercy's company took over the Colossus and drove them away.
Sure.
Okay, but yeah, that's what we were going here for in the first place.
Yeah. Then, I mean, if you guys did clear out the Lord of the Blades from here, I guess it would be okay to go with him, team? Does that feel right? Do we want to do that?
Yeah, I'm okay to head in.
All right.
I would love to not be in the sand.
Why is that?
Yeah. Damn it. All right, what's everybody's passive perception?
9.
9.
26.
Bones is,
Oh wait,
Bones is
hold on.
13.
Okay.
25.
Okay. So all of you are able to easily enough see as you're approaching this Colossus that there are 2 other. Imagine. Oh, where's that image?
Oh, the
Where-
one with the 2 little guys and the big guy?
Yeah.
That's,
I think
my brain's not entirely here this morning, gang. I'm sleepy.
There it is.
Oh yeah, that one. Cool.
Yo.
So you approach quite literally this. And you'll see down at the essentially a foot in the lower left hand corner of the image, there is one Warforged just like sitting basically half exposed, like just sitting there looking about. And you can see him see whatever it is give like a wave to Mercy as you guys are approaching. There's another one perched in a similar way on the other foot. And then Bost and Odysseus, you can actually clock at least 3 more that are much more well hidden on each of the knees, like one on each of the knees and another higher up, like in this neck area below the head of the Colossus. But in seeing that, you two, like a formation like this to you guys would not seem threatening directly to you. Seems more like just like a keeping watch sort of setup.
Got it. Okay.
Going into the Colossus, you'll find that the inside is pretty different from what it looks like on the outside. It looks like it's comprised of what are like rooms. And it would be kind of to all of your surprise that this seems to be as much a mobile home as it is a war machine. Like I said, with like various rooms within, some that look like they're designated to be quarters, like resting areas, and others that are more common. Warforged don't eat, so there's no like kitchens or food or anything like that. But like I said, it seems to be much more like a habitat, I should say, than just what the outside might suggest.
That's cool.
Okay, so he's going to take you in just a little bit to be not directly exposed to the outer elements.
How long ago did you drive out the Lord of Blades' forces as we're walking through?
That would be just a few hours ago.
I think that was the only question I had. I didn't really have any follow-ups. That was mostly just
That's all right.
straight up digging it.
You are muted.
Yep, I saw that. As soon as I looked up, I saw it. So now that we're in, a quieter place, yeah, if you could please elaborate on how the Lord of the Blades is threatening the life of your people.
The Lord of Blades wishes to rule with pardon the expression, but an iron fist. She wishes to eliminate all people who are not Warforged from this place, as well as any Warforged anyway who might oppose this idea, continuing a war that should have ended some time ago.
Why does she want to build this ethno-state?
My best guess is anger. Resentment toward possibly our creators, but probably at least more so toward the people that we were at war with in the first place.
And to double check, by this place, you mean kind of this, like, current area that we're in with the other Colossus and around the mountain? Or are you assuming that she plans to take over the entirety of Eberron?
I cannot say for sure, and I dare not presume too much.
Can I ask where you fell into the ranks before your two parties had conflict, or if you didn't know about the Lord of Blades much at all before she started coming to power?
Her ascension is a little bit of an enigma to me, but I do know that it came from time almost immediately after the burst of magic that ended the war. She's not the only Warforged that fosters anger and resentment that would continue that war given the chance to do so. But she is the most boisterous of them.
I don't think I could say that's surprising, given how fallout tends to happen after wartime. Did you have any thoughts or plans on how to deal with this? I mean, it seemed like you were seeking, if not us out, then trying to pursue those from her cohort.
It seems that head to head, my company against hers would be an absolute massacre. Our numbers do not match hers. If they were to organize all together at once, we would have no chance at all. We don't want to approach anything with violence forward. It is our philosophy that should be a last resort. But it seems that employing the veterans, we've not yet found common ground.
Where does the disconnect tend to happen from your perspective?
He's just going to give you one of these and turn and start walking up a spiral staircase that you can tell is actually what would be like the spine of this humanoid robot.
Cool.
That's so cool. Oh my god.
All the way up to the base of where this head is, where Bast and Odysseia, you saw this the one scout kind of perched up here. You'll see that one now just kind of out on the head, like on an out-hanging ruined piece of it.
Okay.
Just sitting there, like one hand clasped onto this very thin, it's almost like just a pipe that he's sitting on, and another just kind of resting on his leg, and his legs are just dangling, just looking around down there. Gives you guys one of these just to recognize, yes, I know you're here, but he's paying attention outward.
Mm-hmm.
Mercy's going to take you to what looks like over the table, I'm going to say a console, but this would be
Sure.
completely alien to all of you. Actually, roll a history check, everyone. And
It's a mechanical device.
It is, yes, it is a mechanical device.
So I'm adding 4. No. I'm adding 5 to this.
Whoa.
Instead of 29.
Hello? Why do we do so many?
What is happening?
I wonder if it
Cass
unloaded.
really likes history.
I love history, apparently. What the hell?
You
I'm gonna
did-
try.
Damn history.
I'm gonna try that with any other thing and see if I was just bugging out real quick. So
Okay.
this is for nothing.
Oh.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna relaunch D&D Beyond and stuff, so I will be
Okay.
out of the game for 1 sec.
Well, anyway, I got a 29.
I got a 28.
Okay.
13.
1 second.
And Kazan got all the numbers.
Yeah, I got all of
I
them.
got everything. Although I don't think Kaz rolled.
No, I rolled a 14 first.
No, I think you rolled a 1 first.
You rolled a nat 1 first.
I did.
There's-
Okay.
That's the very first
But then
thing
after that, you
was
rolled a
nat
13, and then
one.
a 15, and then an 8, and then a 17, and then a 2.
I didn't see that one. I saw the second chunk of history check. I didn't see that there was a whole ass
Yeah.
other one. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Okay.
Damn.
So I believe it was Oh, let's just look. Okay, so 13 on Bost. Which one is yours?
It is the nat one. It is the nat one
Okay.
is the first one that is yeah.
Yeah.
So, Kaz, this is like completely foreign and alien to you. Bost, you would have at least probably even met between yourself and Nathan's like studies and adventures, artificer wizards before. People who can both with magic and just like what's the word? Like innate materials create machines of sorts, but they're usually pretty small. Like the most complex you would have ever seen being like a pair of gauntlets that can like refit itself to the hand of the user and grant magical properties and stuff like that. Or like mechanical hands that can pop out of bags and like work as a third limb with someone else working on something and then, you know, retract back into a bag. Even just a Warforged is way more involved and complex than you would have been able to fathom before. And this, like the whole Colossus in general, and specifically this console thing that's going on, you're like, okay, this looks like artificer stuff, but like way more advanced. Where did you go? Everybody else was like 25 and higher, right?
Yeah, Vic, Odyssey, and I got 28 and 29.
Okay, so for the two of you, you can essentially clock that this would be like functionally the brain of a Colossus. Everything you understand about like connection of thought and feeling to your body coming from up here in a person is right there on this giant Colossus.
Sure.
And you can see even before Mercy starts to point it out that there is a perfectly centered circular gap right in the middle of the console. And he'll say, the disconnect between us and the veterans lies with those. These sacred orbs belong to my people. We seek to find and house as many as we can. But it seems that these veterans believe that they have a right to salvage whatever they please and sell it for profit. We have had conflict over these before. And it is my firm belief that if I or my company were to approach them about this alone, we would be immediately mistaken for the Lord of Blades' minions.
A very reasonable suspicion to have.
Yeah.
Or, excuse me, fear, not a very reasonable fear that you would be attacked. I believe that it's more than possible to make an alliance between yourselves and these veterans. While having talks, it seemed that they had disclosed that their largest goal was to be able to establish a consistent way of life instead of one where they're trying to get enough resources to get by for the next couple days or weeks. So seeing as long as when the Lord of Blades falls, they're able to live in a sufficient environment, I don't see a world where they won't be reasoned with.
Is that an effort that you think you could help us with?
We would love to help establish this valley as a more peaceful and cohesive society rather than one with 3 factions all trying to kill each other. How would you like to do this? Would you like to come with us, or do you want us to go back and bring this message on our own?
This is a little backwards, but roll a persuasion check.
Ooh, okay. I'm so goofy. I opened Taryn's character sheet. What are we doing?
Nice.
I was like, okay, I need to get my sheet up, and I clicked
Um,
the
What's that
fully
persuasion
wrong
so
one.
bad?
Yeah.
Can I help him?
Yeah, let's do that at advantage.
Thank you. And we're rolling
Nice.
1 again. Let's go.
Yay!
Nice.
Rolling
23.
single numbers.
I'm just now realizing I never messaged you about the whole persuasion thing we were talking about. My bad.
No, I've been keeping track.
Okay.
So it's all good, but
Okay. Count this as another success.
hell yeah.
I believe that I have at our camp we have something that we can offer in exchange for the veterans' agreement to stop taking our orbs. Perhaps if you could convince them to meet us there, an exchange could be made.
Where are we looking to meet?
He's going to hand you a map. That
Map.
shows
Map.
exactly, essentially what you see on the screen right now over the table, but with Yalos indicated as well.
Yalos.
Oh.
Oh, the other camp.
The other camp right here.
Hell yeah. That's cool. I love how there are revealable locations on this. I haven't seen that before.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen that before.
We haven't had very many maps like this before. It's usually like the whole world or the dungeon and nothing in between.
Mm-hmm. This is so cool. Would you mind telling us what it is that you plan to bring typically when approaching somebody about or asking somebody to expose themselves to a concept that they are quite prejudicial towards? Their amount of trust drops so significantly that I could see this being a hard way to convince them if we're just saying that you all want to surprise them with something. They could very well take that as an ambush or some other scheme.
Well, I will admit that the offer to meet us is in the interest of saving some time. However, what I do offer is, in our excursions to find our holy orbs, we have come across other pieces of machinery and even, I believe you call it artwork, and other trinkets that have no value to us, but as I understand it, could have value to them. I would simply like to go back to Yalos and collect those things and have them ready to offer in exchange for not only any orbs that they currently contain, but the promise that any others will come to us instead of their markets.
That's fantastic. I think that that's a very clear message that we can bring back to them and hopefully get a. I suppose I should ask, would you prefer an envoy or just as many as it takes to get the orbs, or what group would you prefer us to try to bring?
I mean,
often
probably some amount of the heads of the group so we could have the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I offer open borders and safe passage for any that would like to come. I think that meeting as many of them in person as we can would be helpful toward the eventual effort of going against the Lord of Blades. But if you or they feel it more appropriate to only have specific leaders or delegates for the time being, that is a respectable approach.
Great. Is there anything else you wanted to discuss with us?
Where are you from?
Me specifically, or all of us?
I get the sense that all of you are from at least a similar place, but that is not anywhere near here.
We come from Faerun, another plane where the technology is nowhere near as sophisticated as this, or as any of that of which we have seen here.
I've heard rumor of different planes. I can't say I've ever encountered anyone or anything from one before other than here.
It's quite an interesting place. I feel like someone else would say that it's better there, but I think it's worse in other ways. I
But
wouldn't get too hung up on exploring other planes.
So
You got
that
a
is why
lot.
you are here. We're exploring.
No, we're trying to save all of the planes from being destroyed and remade into the vision of a tyrannical archlich.
He just
that's a
stares
story for
blankly at you.
Yeah.
This is what I mean when I say
Yeah.
you should not focus on getting to other planes. You have a lot that you're fighting for right now, and your attention should not be split anywhere else. We'll do that.
Specifically, we're
but-
here to find a stick.
Yes, that's more
You gotta-
concise.
You got a stick in all of that artwork?
Something tells me that simply a stick is not all you seek.
Well, I mean, in some ways, yes, it is a stick. In other ways, it is also a highly important, potentially sought after magical item. It is not a docent. Fun fact: docents aren't stick shaped, so you can knock that off your list. But it is quite important to us and our eventual defeating of said archlich. I feel like it might be kind of green.
Don't believe that I would have anything like that, but we're welcome to sift through our items when you come back. I do have
you.
some ideas, though, of maybe a specific Colossus to explore with a rather unique engine.
Is it like a newly unique engine?
Or is it a very oldly unique engine?
We're kind of under the impression that this stick, if you will, may have shown up fairly recently in like the greater timeline of things.
Well, the Colossi in general are overall very recent. They were only built and utilized just at the very end of the war.
Mhm.
But from what my scouts tell me, the the engine of this one in particular is built differently than the rest.
Built different. Sorry.
Built Ford tough.
We get there and it does have the Ford logo just plastered on the chest.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I'm sorry if this was already answered and my brain farted out. How many of you are in your like collective?
14.
Okay.
So many people.
And will you all be at Ialos as well, or is it just a couple of you going to collect those things?
We are the only traveling company today, so yes, we will all be there.
Well, there are 14 in your. Sorry, my. There
You
are
wanted like a total
only-
number, didn't you?
Yeah, like, how many are not, or how many folks are anti
Lord of the Blades?
Lord of the Blades? Yes.
Yeah. Like group that he would consider his people. How many
Yes.
is that?
Yes.
That is 14.
Yo, that's not many.
Yeah.
He did say he's
Yeah.
outnumbered.
I know, but I was figuring
And-
he had like 300 friends somewhere, and they had like 800 friends, and not like 14 and 19.
And how many are we estimating are working for the Lord of the Blades?
That is difficult to surmise. It's rare that any one of us encounter the same one or group multiple times. I'd have to say at least 20.
Okay. But that's not a lot either.
I think when we arrived here, we were expecting much larger army
Numbers,
scaled
yeah.
numbers. So forgive us if we seem to be making light of the
Yeah.
amount.
But you are all very well. It seems that you would be difficult to destroy, but then again, we took 3 of them out, didn't we?
Yep.
But did we?
Yes.
Can they be collected and
Remade.
put back together?
I've not seen it done myself, but in theory, yes.
What would it take to do such a thing?
Either another Warforged or another non-Warforged with knowledge of holies.
Resurrection.
The artifice, necromancy.
Yeah.
House Kenneth.
Oh, Eberron
I know
shit.
who they are.
God damn it.
Those motherfuckers.
We love dramatic irony so much.
Yep.
Is this?
This is me, Andrea, knowing who this is because of I played in an Eberron campaign, and they
Got
were
it. Okay, cool.
directly antithetical to my character and her family.
Odysseia, you can make a history check.
I would
Um,
love to make a history
Do
check.
that.
This
Because
is
I
this
don't
is
know what you're talking about.
difficult though. Well,
Yeah.
it's not crazy difficult, but it's up there.
I mean,
Okay.
I've got 20.
So House Kenneth ties to Eberron. You might have come across it in some books somewhere, but you're having trouble surmising details. It's an important name to Eberron, but you're not sure why.
Okay.
Fuck those guys.
So how many? Do you guys remember how many
Veterans?
yeah, how many of the veterans were there?
I don't think we were looking.
Do we?
Yeah, so using your passive perceptions are stupid
I
high
was like-
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
thinking-
best guess maybe 9 if I had to guess.
You saw about 9 or 10 when the whole clusterfuck of they're gonna die happened. It was
Sure.
about 9 or 10 in total, including the 3 that were wounded.
Cool.
Oh, wow.
And are we to assume that that is the whole of
Team veteran.
living beings on this plane right now because of
Not
the
on the-
war?
I don't think it's not on the plane. It's in like this city, in
Like
this
in
like
the valley
region.
area.
Yeah,
Yeah.
consider like you're in this Mount Ironrot area.
Okay.
Consider this to be about the size of like if you put like no, how do we want to? What's the scale here?
I was thinking like this is not gonna help anybody, but it's like the Sand Dunes National Park in Colorado, like where it's
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
a big.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, that helps
Yeah.
me.
Great.
Maybe
But yeah,
in
where it's
game,
like
Sam, remember the Desert Valley
Yeah.
in the last game? Think like
Yeah.
that. It's
Okay.
just like that little valley area.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
instead of a
So-
bunch of teeny tiny cults, it's just these 3 groups of guys.
Mhm.
Okay. So basically, what I'm saying is if the two camps come together, then we do have the numbers,
Oh yeah.
especially with us.
We have the numbers, and with us specifically helping in those battles, probably a more
The skill. We have the
Right.
numbers, we have the skill, and yeah. So that's what we need to push to the veterans.
Right.
and
And that they're very nice.
Yes.
And they're
Yeah.
very cute. And they're very sweet.
And I mean, there's also a chance that once the Lord of Blades goes down, or is no longer being a Lord of Blades, that maybe some of the, proclivities of the rest of the Lord of the Blades might switch back to we actually just want to exist in this desert.
Yeah.
Mhm.
hmm
So that might help, the general saving of the people.
Yeah.
So, Mercy, sir, what is the timeline that you would like us to meet back? Because we obviously need to go back to our first camp, have a chat, and then make the trek to the new camp, Yellows. Yeah, because the I and the L look the same.
Yeah.
EIOS.
E-I-E-I-Os.
I was like, is it Yayos? Is it Lalos? No, it's
Yeah.
Yalos.
It's Leos.
Laos. So is this ish? What time of the day is it, DM?
End of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you got maybe an hour till sunset.
So this is like a tomorrow problem.
It's up to you. There is always the choice to just like go through the night, risk exhaustion, but probably be
Udagi.
okay.
Poo doggy. That's funny.
I said who? It was who doggy. There wasn't a poo there.
Oh, I
That
heard
would be
poo.
weird. No,
Who
Who
does
knows?
doggy.
Who does?
So it makes sense to maybe have this conversation tomorrow morning, or to have the meeting be tomorrow morning, early afternoon, after the time it takes us to get from the camp to Yellows. So does that work out for you and your team? It gives you a little time to gather items.
Yalos has been consistently fairly safe against incursion from the Lord of Blades and her followers, so we can operate on any timeline you deem appropriate. I just encourage careful travel entire time, of course. It seems you've already encountered some of her scouts.
Yeah, and we kicked their asses.
And they did kind of kick our asses too, just a
But
little.
I
they
mean,
did
they
have
really- it
the
was just like-
terrain advantage.
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, I feel like we held them off pretty consistently, considering what they were capable of doing. I think we did a pretty okay
Oh,
handling of the situation. So I am not worried. Me and my god aren't worried.
My God, Arm.
So, yeah, why don't we make our way back to the veterans camp, have our chat with the veterans, and then plan for tomorrow morning? Team?
That works for me.
Yep.
Sounds like a great plan.
Excuse me.
All right.
Yes, very good.
Well, we'll see you in the morning then.
Okay, so he's going to you'll remember when the leader of the 3 Warforged attacked you, it like made this
Yes. Language noise.
grungy, like metallic static sound. Mercy's gonna do the same thing, and it'll just echo this like kind of pulse sound through the Colossus. And the Warforged you can see just kind of perched up in the head, and maybe the 2 that are on the knees, like down below, that you can see before the ground are all going to like look back up at him and just kind of stand up and just jump down to the ground, and you'll hear boom, boom, boom as each of them just kind of like lands on their legs, stands up, and starts walking out.
They're all just walking right now
Wonderful.
to
They're-
the spot.
They're
That's
leaving.
insane.
Yeah, they're leaving.
Okay.
Mercy was
Cool.
one of them too. He just kind of, you said your piece, you said your goodbyes, and he made that noise and just hopped off the staircase that you're on and joined them.
How high up are we?
About 400 feet.
Does somebody else want to do a cool exit with
No. Oh, you want to just dimension door to the ground?
me? Yeah, I was gonna just dimension door to the ground. Yeah.
I'll walk. I got bones with me this time.
Boss,
Someone
do you
else
want to
wanna
do a
dimension door
teleport to
down?
the ground?
Yeah, boss.
Sure.
Cool, we'll do that.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Wild.
I will walk down slowly on the stairs with Bones and whoever else, and Odyssey and Pumpkin.
Excellent.
Oh, like.
And do a general making our way back to the veterans camp.
Okay. So the trek back to the camp is going to take about 3 hours, same as
Okay.
it was on the way here. Going all the way there, you will not risk exhaustion, but you do go beyond sunset, so you know that the ability to observe potential dangers approaching will be inhibited.
Oh no.
So I guess I should have made it more clear. Do you still
Sure.
that is
yeah.
to indicate?
I was
Do you
like,
want
was
to
that
just
a question?
do you want to just make camp here and not take that risk, or do you want to get to the veterans camp more quickly and go all the way now?
We should probably go all the way now, just because if we're on a delay, we don't know how long it'll take to get to
Right.
Eberron.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Let's just go. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so
take us 3 hours to get there, you said?
yes.
Okay.
Anything that you guys want to do or talk about along the way?
We should probably give them the docent that Caliph gave us when we left the first time. I just now thought about that.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that the whole time, about when is the best time to do that. I wonder if we maybe do it as a show of faith when we get to Yalos with the veterans, provided the veterans are coming with us. I think that might be a good, like, thank you for this thing that you gave us. We are now, again, going to give the culturally appropriate and sensitive item back to the people it belongs to.
Mm-hmm.
As they, like, look what you're doing to this community. Maybe we have a chat.
Mhm.
But like, yeah. That felt like a
Um,
good maybe point.
Passive perceptions, everyone. Again.
9.
9.
25.
Okay, 25 and 20 higher.
And Pumpkin has a 21.
Yeah.
Boss
13 for
and
Bones.
Odyssia.
Yes.
Until now, it's been so faint that it's just been like even more subtle than white noise. But as you like throughout the time that you're talking with Mercy and now starting the trek back, you can hear this kind of very faint whom
They summoning.
coming from Alaska's pack.
What?
Oh, I bet
Is-
it's one of the.
We
Yeah.
didn't take the heads though, did we?
We didn't take the heads. It's either the docent doing something or one of the parts of the rod.
It's probably yeah. I think Odysseus is just gonna message Alaska and be like, "Your bag is singing."
She's gonna open the bag. Reach for the docent first.
Is that what is making the sound?
'Cause I don't think I can just look in there and see everything. I think you have to like decide what you're pulling out of it to access stuff in it.
Yeah.
But-
So you pull out the docent, and the sound doesn't change for Bost and Odyssia, but when you like pull it out and look at it, Alaska, you can kind of hear it too, and it's so subtle.
Sure.
But now you can also feel that with each pulse of that sound, you can feel the tiniest little vibration of the docent.
Oh no.
Okay.
That does this feel like a homing beacon?
I mean,
Like, does it feel like does it feel like it is like say like it's telling other
make
things
a history
like I'm
check
here.
for a magical item. Yeah, make a
They've
history.
got-
Yeah,
They've
history.
planted a tracker on us. It's not actually a
Fucking-
docent.
Oh, it's just well shit.
Damn.
I rolled a nat 20 twice.
Yeah.
But point being,
Amazing.
we're still adding 5 to that, so it is a 32.
So-
Jeez.
Oh yeah.
Based on what you learned about docents before,
Yeah.
you would get more focused on. Oh, that's right. These things, at least when they're active, are sentient. But this one wasn't active. What's different now?
I mean, we were around a bunch of Warforged.
You
We were also in the brain.
you would clock it to
Oh.
you were very close to the console of a Colossus.
Oh no.
And now there's like it's almost like it's awakening, but there shouldn't be. It's confusing to you for a moment that why didn't this happen while you were there? Why is it happening now?
Mhm.
And then you'd also realize that docents can in ways react to other magical items
Is it
for
the
reasons. You will then clock that you're feeling a synchronous vibration like on your hip from your pack.
Yeah. On my hip?
Wherever you rest your pack. I don't know if it's like a backpack or just like
Sure.
a
No, I
bag.
mean, I'm just like,
It's from your bag.
I'm thinking, right. So it could be something else in the bag. So then I would search for the 2 rods and see if it feels like it's reacting to the rods.
And it very much is. The 3 of them
Ah.
have this pulsing sound and vibration completely in sync with each other.
Well, so it's reacting to the rods. It's doing that because of the other magic in here. I don't know how to turn it off.
Is Mercy
Probably.
still here with us? Mercy's gone.
Because he went.
Yeah, they would have been long gone by now.
Yowos.
That is definitely something to ask him about, though.
Yeah.
Because what I'm worried about is that this rod. Maybe that's why the Lord of Blades is looking for this piece of the rod, so that they can activate the docents and start using the colossi.
But I mean, couldn't they use the colossi with the docents on their own anyway?
Well, they would have to be activated, and they haven't been able to be activated.
Oh, I thought they could only be activated by Warforged.
A Warforged who
So I thought-
knows how to.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
okay.
But yeah, so we have a magic wand that turns all the docents on. That checks out.
I mean, I don't think Mercy would be. I'm thinking that we just don't turn the docents on because having weapons of mass destruction just fully here again would not be good, especially with how volatile situations are in the
But
valley.
it is also an RV, so bit of both.
I'm sure.
It is a traveling home, but it's like if a traveling home also had like giant pew pew guns on the front. So
Exactly.
it's like a little of both.
I'm sure that they could also like probably try taking the guns off of the Colossus. I think this is a conversation for later to figure out what we're gonna do with it.
Right.
I think this is just a lot. If we just figured out that our wand can make the giant robots turn on.
That's not great for the end of a war situation.
Because we either don't tell them about it, or we tell them about it and be like, we can't do this. Which Mercy said that they're pacifists, so I don't think that we would have to fight hard on them not
Yeah.
using all of the big weapons.
Being a pacifist without a weapon is one thing, and being a pacifist with a weapon is another.
For sure. We'll see.
Well,
We'll
maybe
see.
we figure it out once we get to camp.
Yeah, I think so.
I think Mercy should be the first one to know about it, though.
Yes. Sounds like a plan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So with that, sounds like we're still just going straight to camp,
Yep.
right?
Mhm.
Okay. I'll need perception checks from everyone.
Checks.
Checks. Oh dear.
Perception check. Ooh.
Look at that 18.
Look at you.
Hell yeah.
Extras.
You rolled two
Bones.
20s and a 19.
I know.
He's crazy.
And so it's gonna be jack shit the rest of the day. And Bones rolled an 11.
Good job, Bones.
Yeah.
Okay.
So talented.
Because he has not been hit yet, so he has not gone away. We need to get back. I need to do some training with Bones to get him a little beefier.
Yeah.
All right. So, at one point, about halfway, all of you will very faintly notice off in the distance, like away from the direction you're going, two at least like humanoid things
Okay.
poke up from like a dune of sand, and then after a few seconds go back down and not reappear.
Oh, hate that.
Mm-mm.
So, we either acknowledge this and prepare to kill it, or this could be one of the funniest things that we encounter out here. These are the two options that this is.
Right.
Hang on. So wait, what poked his head up?
Like it's almost like two people were like poked their heads over a sand dune to look at you guys and then sunk back down.
People not Warforged.
We don't know. Just shapes of
Humanoid
body.
shape.
Humanoid shape.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
Shapes of a body. Yeah.
Got it,
Between the
okay.
dark and the fog, it was you wouldn't have been able to tell like
Yeah.
exactly.
Two
What?
body shaped things popped up and then hid. And so we don't know who that is. It is dark out. Do we know a rough distance of how far they were?
Several
no, because
hundred
we're
feet.
in Eberron.
Fair. Several hundred
Fuck.
feet. Very difficult to tell.
Great.
Okay.
We all saw those two guys, right?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Great. So we do a general be careful. Everybody stays within 10 feet of Alaska.
Got it.
Heard.
Yeah. And we just all keep our eyes up and do a pay attention as we continue to head back to camp. Just
Yeah.
in case, I'm gonna pop a divine sense. So, within 60 feet of us, I can sense any celestials, fiends, undead, or anything affected by the hallowed spell. I don't think it's gonna help, but
You do not sense anything.
yeah, I didn't think so.
Yeah, Basta has the trident out and
Yeah.
just holding.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can't be surprised.
Okay.
Nobody can be surprised.
Nobody could be surprised.
Okay, so you guys make it to camp without incident.
Great.
It is dark. We'll see that there are only a couple of torches lit. Looks like for the 4 people on patrol to be able to see each other and the camp.
Sure.
And you are generally greeted and welcomed back and offered space wherever you would like to make your own sleeping arrangements for the evening. We're gonna pause there, take a quick break. We will be right back. We're back. Here we go. Okay, we are back at the veteran camp. It is excuse me, it is either time to rest or continue doing something and risk exhaustion, but track on. What do you guys want to do?
Sleepy time.
Yeah.
Lucy's gonna pull out the fortress and go to bed.
That's so real.
Actually, real quick, can I just what was not Gertrude's name?
Caliph.
Oh, Caleb.
Caliph.
Yeah. Not Gertrude.
Not Gertrude.
Are you wait, are you talking about the Cyclops that we found in that cave?
Was
Oh,
it
yeah,
a
that's a
Cyclops?
That was
It was a
Gertrude, yeah.
Cyclops.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
it wasn't a
Oh,
I love Gertrude.
I forgot that she was a
It was
Cyclops.
not an orc.
Not an orc.
So yeah, Caleb for sure doesn't know who she is.
Yeah, absolutely not. Oh my god.
I forgot she was a Cyclops.
That's so funny.
Shit.
So funny.
I was after the game. I was looking through the NPCs and creatures that we got handed out, and I was like, what orc is Gertrude?
Oh,
And then I
God.
find the Cyclops, and I'm like, no way,
Oh,
no
yeah.
shot.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Oh my goodness.
That was fully a Sam
Yeah.
Sam problem, not a but you
Not
know
a boss problem.
shit
Yeah.
shit happens.
No worries. That's
But
funny
there's
as
been a
hell.
lot. There's been a lot happening. Some details get muddied, and we
Yeah.
microaggress sometimes.
True.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay. So Caliph. So boss is gonna find Caliph. Just real quick before we all go to bed.
hmm
Yeah, she'll be in the larger tent, sort of at the head of the camp.
Good evening, Miss Caliph. So we met some very nice folks on our way home after we got in a little scuffle with some not very nice folks. We would like to have a discussion with you in the morning about the very nice folks that we met.
Are you all okay?
We are perfectly fine. We handled the scuffle. They are the handled.
That is good news.
Yes. So, the very nice, generous, kind-hearted folks that we met, I need you to keep an open mind when we are talking to you about the situation tomorrow, all right?
Make a persuasion check.
Hell yeah.
Great.
Fuck yeah, beautiful.
A little disconcerting that you should find it necessary to preempt a conversation with this, but very well.
I'm just going to let you know this upfront. They
Very
are
well.
they are Warforged, and the one we spoke with. His name is Mercy.
That is an unexpected development. This Mercy was not among those that attacked you.
No. And again, I say, he is kind, he is generous, and he wants to join forces. I am exhausted from this day. I want to continue this conversation with you tomorrow, but I want you to think about this very hard. And I want you to put the trust that you have in us into this person. So please sleep on this, but know that we trust him. And when we bring you more information tomorrow morning, know that we are only thinking about what's best for you and your group.
This is a tall ask, but I will consider carefully till our discussion in the morning.
All right. Have a good night.
You as well. On your way out, you're going to see Kalith like go to a cabinet kind of on the side of the tent, open it up, and like from the very top shelf pull out a jug that is unlabeled. Take a cup on her desk and pour very briefly, and just do this. Take a shot.
And Boss is just gonna hear the bottle out, and she's gonna go, are you a whiskey girl?
Oh no.
This would have used to have been among Eberron's finest moonshine. Would you like a swig?
I will never turn down a nice slug of something.
All right, she'll pour like a little 1.5 to 2 ounce pour of this in a cup for you. It looks like a shimmering clear liquid, and just offer it to you.
And Boss takes it down and says, "Thank you for the nightcap, my dear." She pats her on the hand.
It's a pretty sweet drink, but it's got that iconic burn of like good moonshine.
Yeah.
All the way down your gut.
She gives a little cats do. That little cat.
The thing cats do when they smell something potent.
Yep.
Excellent.
Thank you for the nightcap, my dear. It's been a day.
Rest well.
And now Bosco's bedtime.
Okay. Was anybody doing anything else before sleepies?
Nah.
No.
Alaska's gonna use Bones as a pillow.
I mean,
Okay.
Odyssea's gonna kind of see people starting to like settle in. Just go to an area where there is enough space and it is flat, and just put a little cube down and speak the words, and then just kind of look at her team and be like, "Do you want to stay inside?
Do you want us to stay inside?
I'll
You
go
are
inside.
welcome to. The lower level is open. Upstairs is my apartment, though. I do have a sofa, but it's not very big."
I can sleep on the floor.
Yeah, the floor, the inside floor is fine with me as well.
There's a fireplace upstairs, too.
Do you want us to stay upstairs?
You
You're
can.
my. Odyssey is just very stressed out, being like, "You are my friends. You are welcome to stay in my apartment." Then she just goes upstairs.
I think we let Odysseia be in her space for.
I'll let
Right.
Odysseia have her space and we can hang out downstairs.
Yeah, let's have a.
I'm sure you've got some amount of stuff down. Do you have any furniture downstairs, or
I
is it just
mean,
an open room?
we
with a
kind of
staircase?
agreed that like the fortress upstairs would have functionally her apartment,
Mhm.
Sure.
but the downstairs, it's just 2 stories. The downstairs is kind of just like, well, this is a space.
Sure.
It's just like a gathering hall, and there's like no.
Yeah.
That's fun. That's fun.
Then I will go upstairs because I feel I'm gonna make a guess here that this is Odysseia being like, come hang out in my apartment, but I don't want to ask for people to hang out in my apartment.
Oh, that's what that
This
is.
is a like, I
Yeah.
do not know how to tell you that I like you and it is cool if we hang out, but
Yeah,
also
yeah.
please don't make me say it.
Sure.
Oh,
yeah.
I misread that entirely. Yeah.
No,
Yeah, then
it's her
Alaska.
being-
I feel like Alaska would have understood that because
Yeah.
we would have had adult conversations about like what the words you say mean.
Yeah.
And so I feel like she would be upstairs.
Just like the
Like-
hyper literal, like, you are my friends. It is fine if you stay with me. I have offered this. I do not understand why you continue to ask the thing I have offered.
Sure. Then yeah, Alaska goes upstairs with Bones.
Oh yeah, it's nice.
Make sure he wipes his feet first, and then he goes
Aw,
upstairs.
Bones.
Yeah.
Bones
Do you have a bed in your apartment upstairs?
I have my bed and I have a sofa.
Cool. So what Boss is gonna do, because that moonshine is hitting her a little harder than she anticipated,
Oh, no.
she's gonna
Right
pull.
by your feet.
Oh no, no. She's gonna pull what my boss pulls,
Oh no.
which is right above the head. She's gonna be like, "Oh, your hair smells so lovely. Okay. These pillows are very comfy. Right up here. Oh, thank you, my dear. Thank you for inviting
She's in my
us."
bed.
Is she like playing with your? Are you like playing with her hair too?
Mhm. This is
Y'all,
this
y'all
is
had the
nice.
biggest fight earlier in this campaign.
This is very nice.
I think Odysseus just gonna message Alaska and be like, "Can we please stop giving her alcohol?"
Y'all don't know. Y'all don't know.
And I think the response you get back is,
Oh my god.
Okay, Odysseus just gonna message Cass, and it's just gonna be.
I'm gonna get up from laying on the floor downstairs because I did fully commit to that. I'll come up and I'll knock. Is it like an open floor or they're
Yeah, it's
like
basically
room?
an open floor. It's like 2 big floors. It's
sure.
we
Okay.
just kind of like the running joke that when I asked Magic about it was like, it would be funny if just her apartment is up there because she despises being outside.
Yep.
That's so funny. Yeah, I'll just like knock on the door frame when I come up the stairs or like whatever I can and be like, is everything? Oh no.
Wait, where would also Pumpkin would probably be curled up also around you, right?
Yeah, that's
Like-
fine.
Yeah.
I think that it's just the like wide-eyed look of like, I don't have a great ability to deal with this, but I'm dealing with it.
Sure.
I just need someone
So
to
you're just-
know.
You're just like surrounded by 2 of the Smalls. Alaska's like passed out on the dog somewhere, probably on the couch.
Yep. Just having an experience.
I'm gonna reply to the message. Do you want me to help? Do you want help?
I don't know, but like, just be present in this moment.
Okay.
I know that I hate this because I'm never gonna tell her.
I won't do a respond through the message. I'll just nod and I'll pull up a chair. And I'll just start like bouncing like a sorceress bolt in my hand and like changing the damage type. Just fiddling there until I fall asleep.
Adorable. Please do
Nice.
not let loose a bolt of chaos energy in the apartment.
I'm not gonna let it loose. It's firmly in my hand, tossing
Okay.
it up and down. And then when I finally do doze off, I'll be like thinking self-affirmations to try and lure out the pride to start making contact with that at a later point.
Nice.
Hell yeah. You just do a gratitude journal.
Exactly. In my brain space, just
In your mind
You
palace,
are-
you're just sitting there writing in your journal.
you are the God's chosen one. You are so cool.
We're the biggest.
You have so many friends.
Mhm.
Your hair looks great today.
Your hair always looks great, and you've never had a bad hair day. Sometimes foreshadowing is relatively obvious.
Amazing.
And we sleep.
And we sleep.
Okay. Long rest goes by uneventfully. Check me on this. Are we in game day 25?
Yes.
Okay.
I literally updated the calendar as we were playing, so.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. I might change some spells around.
I
Cool.
think I'm good. I might try you.
So I can't do that after a long rest anymore, right? I can only do it when I change, like during
Or level up.
level
Yeah.
up. Okay.
Yeah, so the
what?
classes that can change out spells. So the classes that the
Oh.
clerics and paladins can change out spells like through their entire spell list at all times always.
Mm.
If you were a druid or a wizard, I believe, then you get a spell book, and then you could switch out things that you've otherwise already written in the book. The other casters, once you have it, it's yours.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But you're right. On level ups, you can change in and out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Cool,
and
cool.
on that vein, Odysseia,
Yes.
multi-classed, you can only change out cleric spells.
Yes. I got that.
Okay.
I changed out when we leveled up. I changed out a bard spell, but that's it.
Cool.
Hell yeah.
I've thought a lot about that rule,
Mm-hmm.
and for a time I was like, that seems kind of like silly restrictive, but looking at more the macro of the adventure in general, it seems like it does seem more appropriate of like you made choices, now not live with them, but like figure out how to utilize them in the situations that you're in.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
still,
And-
but still being able to swap out at level up seems to balance that out pretty
Be
well,
fair.
I think.
Yeah.
And with bard spells, like so many bard spells are still in the cleric spell.
Yeah.
that, like, there's not a lot of spells in the bard spells that I'm really looking at the level I have access to like, wow, I really want this, because like most of it is just like.
Sure.
Also, the classes that like have to like stick with their spells for a while tend to have like the more like world-changing spells, or like ones that do a shit ton of damage.
Yeah.
So they're
Yeah.
like you can't be swapping everything out all the time. You've
Right.
got to have
Yeah.
like some rigidity.
I do.
I traded out one spell.
Quickly, Magic, have one question for you.
Yeah.
Which is, as written, a familiar can do. You can, if you have a touch-based spell and you are not like close by, your familiar can count as touch. Does that? I was reading about this. I assume that's correct, but I don't know if that's right.
Say again?
So, like, if I'm 30 or 40 feet away from someone and my familiar is on them, I can do a spell where the range is touch because I can cast it through the familiar. I was reading about this somewhere, and I feel like maybe I'm
reading one thing real quick to see if this addresses that. Yes.
okay. Cool.
When
Just
you
checking.
you cast a spell with a range of touch, your familiar can deliver the touch. They just must be within 100 feet of you,
Got it.
and it must use its reaction to do so.
Great.
That's
All
cool.
I wanted to know.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent.
I just had. Oh, you guys are gonna love this. I had the coolest fucking idea. Okay.
Oh no.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
It's. I don't think it's gonna impact anything for today, but like, Jesus Christ, this is gonna be. Okay.
And this is the thing that we'll be like, wow, that was crazy. I can't believe that happened. Like
Yeah.
2 years from now when we're finishing this up.
Oh man. Okay, so long rest has happened. You're at the next morning. Unless anybody's still in the middle of anything, what do you want to do next?
I think we meet with.
Go talk to
Caleb.
Caleb.
Yeah.
Fade transition.
Good morning, my dear Caleb. Thank you so much for that delightful nightcap last night.
You're very welcome. I have considered what you said, and I think it is in our best interest that the six of us discuss in private, at least for now, so as to avoid any harmful misunderstandings before we get to the full breadth of what you're proposing.
That's understandable. Where will we go to meet in private?
In my tent, and she'll take you in and wave off the guards and essentially ask them to patrol, but keep distance. And they have a moment of like, what do you mean? And she just gives one of those head shakes, like, just trust me.
Sure.
And leads you into the tent. So as I understand it, you are proposing not only that there is a Warforged you've met with that is not hostile, but offers something to us.
Correct. So we had a chat with Mercy. They are a Warforged in the area, along with another large group of Warforged who are antithetical to what is going on with the Lord of the Blades. This group with Mercy is just looking to continue to exist in this valley, hoping to again also get a hold of the docents because, as we previously discussed, it is an important cultural item to them. They do not have the numbers to defeat or really confront the Lord of the Blades as they currently stand. So our hope was that along with you and your team of veterans and us and Mercy and their team, hopefully we could come to an agreement about what is allowed to be taken out of this valley by you guys and sold, and what things should remain here for Mercy and their team of Warforged, and also potentially collectively all together confront the Lord of the Blades, and maybe, if nothing else, take the Lord of the Blades out, take her out of the situation, and hopefully maybe disband that group so that the Warforged can continue to exist in their valley in peace in a way that works for everybody.
Everybody make their own individual persuasion check.
Oh yeah.
I would like to start doing this more instead of just the advantage for help, because this is a collective group thing happening.
Sure.
So
27.
27. Oh my god.
7,
23.
10, 23, 22, 25. Oh, no. 7, 10, 23, 22.
These people have been also victims of the situation that is being found in the valley, and while I'm not sure you intend to, the raids are harming their ability to live the rich life that they were given when they were created. And they want to seek, and they just want to reconcile that.
Mercy also brought up to us that there are a handful of other types of treasures that they have come across with their group of Warforged. They said things that they don't necessarily recognize as important to them, but considered treasures. Those could be gems or maybe other items. They talked about other mechanical items that could be easily salvaged for you guys that are not specifically the docents. They also mentioned the word art, which I have a great handle on and could tell you values of lots of things.
It is also clear if you wish to continue to survive with this lord at the same time, you will likely be picked off just as Mercy's band, and it is better to fight together.
I must admit that what you're saying here is difficult to believe. However, I do have my faith that not all Warforged are still hell-bent on the old war that has ended. It's good to hear that you may experience some that are done with it. And better to hear still that we may have a mutual benefit. So, how do we treat with them? What is the next step to approach this alliance?
So they have a simple request that we, or specifically rather you gather the docents that you've collected and haven't sold yet. We will take however many you would prefer. They had suggested as many people as you would be able to convince to come with to Ialos, so that we can do an exchange of the docents that you have for some of the goods and other treasures that they have collected over their time here. And we can do that exchange, and they can meet some of the other veterans and develop that and develop those personal relationships, so it's less of a enigmatic force that will be helping you establish yourselves better in this place.
And what of those of my people who might perceive this as a trap of some sort?
Absolutely. That's a
Well,
Sorry, Odysseus. Vic, I didn't hear you.
Are you not their leader? Have you led them astray before? Would they trust your word?
This situation is a particularly difficult one to approach.
then
I do not
let them.
rule in the same way as the Lord of Blades. I do not rule with fear and violence. I hardly rule at all.
Would
I
you
am
say you
simply
maybe
the head
rule
of the
with
camp.
mercy?
inspiration, please. Begging. Begging.
God damn it.
I will rally every. Sorry, go ahead, Sam. Go ahead.
He understood that there would be some that felt uncomfortable. He said from the beginning, if that we should bring as many as we could. And if all we could bring was leadership, then we should do so. So if you have those who are uncomfortable, leave them and let the others who are more trusting come. And when we all come back, fine and full of treasure, hopefully the doubters will know better.
It will be them who would be the obstacle to a prosperous future if they refuse to understand the helping hands that we are lending that you will be lending each other.
She's gonna take a few moments to consider. She, like, furrows her brow a couple times, like she's clearly thinking through everything that's being offered and considered, and finally stands up and says, I will offer to my people the opportunity to join us today. I must request that if you are met with any I am over the table having trouble with the word. What is the word for, like, verbal opposition?
Dissent.
Dissent. Thank you.
Dissent, yes.
There it is.
I've also been losing words all morning, so you're good.
I must ask that if you are met with any, if you or I, most likely us together, are met with any dissent, you honor the way I would treat my people and let them stay if they choose.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very well. And she's just gonna kind of like lock in and walk straight out the tent, and you can hear her just starting to like, I'm gonna say shout, but not like an angry, just like beckon to her people across the camp.
Sure.
And you'll hear her like starting to give something of a little speech. I'm not gonna say a whole speech, but relaying to everyone what you've said. It turns out not all the Warforged are bad. There is a small group that our new friends have made a deal with. Here's what we offer. Here's what they offer. Are you guys with her while she's making the speech, or are you staying in the tent?
I would love
Alaska's
to be
totally
out
with
there.
her.
Yeah, I'm standing right next to her.
Okay.
If I can
Then-
hold her hand, I will. Like,
If-
yeah.
Alaska's doing that like dad in the backyard, like hands on the hips, like
Yeah.
yep, yep.
I've got the full like arms, like paralyzed, just at my
Yeah.
side.
Well, I would say Odysseia and Alaska especially, we helped heal people
Yes,
when they
we
came
healed-
back
we-
too.
we-
Yeah,
Brought like 2 to 3 people back to life, basically.
right.
Yep. So
And Bones is just sitting there like a good boy.
What a good boy.
I need a new persuasion check from all of you.
Hell yeah.
Can we check and see, like, just is there a way to see if any of the other people are like injured and like just as a keeping everyone doing okay?
You can see that there are a couple of people that are like bandages on an arm or leg, stuff like that, that look like more longer term healing that they're on the tail end of.
Gotcha.
There's no like freshly wounded or like a med tent or anything like that full of people. Everybody seems to be in pretty good to like well rested and fresh condition.
Got it. Okay.
Okay.
That sounds good. Okay.
Okay, so
Yeah.
the speech is met with a small amount of protest, but only in the lines of like making sure kind of questioning. Like, are you sure about this? Are you sure
Sure.
that they're not hostile? Are you sure it's not a trap? Nobody really crosses the line of saying like, this is a bad idea, I'm out. And certainly nothing even farther like you're all betrayers, blah blah blah. Nothing anywhere near that. So it seems that everyone is in, and then she asks for 4 volunteers out of the group to stay in the interest of protecting the camp. I need
Totally.
a new persuasion check for this.
From everyone.
Yes.
Yo!
Damn.
Let's fucking go!
90-20, baby!
Woo!
Look at that. Look at that.
What would I be doing? I have to think about what I would be doing for a 30 persuasion on volunteers. Oh my god.
Kalith actually starts to say she thinks it's time for us to move on from this camp.
Oh.
Let's pack it all up and put all our chips into what can happen next.
Okay.
So they do that.
Great.
Everybody's on board. They're all packing up camp. Did I tell you guys how many veterans there were? Oh no, we had
About
trouble.
9 or
we
10.
guessed
You
9 to
said
10.
nine.
Yeah.
You guessed 9 to 10 based on what you saw. It's actually more like 20.
Yo!
Fantastic.
Yes.
Great news.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because I guess the other ones were like out patrolling and stuff. Like they would
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
They were doing.
Okay. So it takes maybe 30 minutes to pack up. It seems like everyone here is pretty well practiced in packing up quickly and efficiently. And Kalith comes to you and says, we'll have you lead the way.
All right.
We have a map.
Yes, you do.
We have a map. We have a map.
Let's follow the river, I guess.
When
Probably
you
the best
when you
bet.
say you have a map, it suddenly pops out of your hand and opens up like an envelope with a mouth that says, I'm the map, I'm the map, I'm the... No, I'm kidding.
I was so excited.
Oh,
That'd
man.
be so good.
If there's a place you gotta go, I'm the one you need to know. I'm the map.
My God.
Oh, Jesus. That reminds me of a Brian Regan bit that just lives rent-free in my
I'm
head.
the map. Yeah, that's why I said it that way.
Yep. Anyway. Okay, so you're... I'm assuming you're just going straight out, yeah?
Yep.
Okay. I need a D4 from anyone. Sorry, 2 D4.
I'll do one.
I'll
do
do one
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Fast.
because I haven't done one yet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
2.
2.
Ooh, what does
Wow.
that mean?
Takes 22 hours.
1 million years.
Okay, so it's going to take you 4 hours to get there.
That's what I figured. Okay.
And your encounter is nothing. Damn.
Yay!
Yeah.
Can I actually did I take hold on. I want to see if I at one point I had sending I
Oh, you're
might
gonna
have
send
given
it
it away.
heads up to.
yeah.
I didn't prep sending for today.
Do the letters move faster than us? Could you send him a letter?
I think they're at
Oh.
60 feet.
Yeah, 60 feet movement speed.
So they get there in 2 hours instead of 4.
That's true. He could get 2 hours.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna send Mercy a letter. That that just says, "Hey, we're all coming."
We're all coming.
Hello,
Yeah.
friend. We're in. And we're all coming.
Okay. That's a one-way thing, right? It's not
Yes.
like okay.
Unless he has something that he could also send back, but
Or he
Oh, no,
could
it's not sending. It's a bird.
I mean, like if he also had
Right.
a bird that he could send,
Yeah.
or
Oh,
like
yeah.
He just unhinges his jaw and sends out a radio signal that we just to get those.
He
get those
just
straight
yells.
brains.
he just yells so.
Wah.
Oh man.
It's just a modem dial-up noise.
Jesus Christ.
Mhm.
Oh shit, that's so good.
Okay.
Um,
Oops. Do you get here? So yeah, you are on your way. Is there anything that you guys want to do or talk with anyone about along the way?
That was an accident, the Arcana check. I just clicked things and it was moving.
I think I would want to kind of like go between some of the people that that are from the vets camp and just kind of get an idea on how most people are feeling about the situation, with the intention of like kind of just briefing Mercy when we get there of like, here's the mood, this is what everybody's feeling like, so he doesn't spend too much time on like reassuring people if they're mostly okay with it anyway.
Yeah, I guess can some of us, or at least Odysseus would also like to sort of, at least a little bit, maybe go talk, like have a conversation with the people that she'd healed, and within that just kind of be like, you know, is
What's the vibe?
like what's the vibe, but also sort of that I'm trying to think of what the correct word would be, but just sort of giving information sort of one-to-one, as opposed to like the leader has said we're doing this and it's probably a good idea, but just being like, aren't you tired of doing this? And other people obviously are too, and like you've been, you know, how many people have you lost to the Lord of the Blades? And like this is someone who is also an enemy of the Lord of the Blades and would like to find peace, and is, you know, like what is your dream of the future beyond just survival? And kind of like intimating that this relationship with this group is possibly the path to that future.
Okay. Yeah, so generally people would respond with like a few people have lost their entire family to between the war and the Lord of Blades in between. Some of the people here are like what's left of their families. And then you'd hear stories of how it's been horrible that like even the children of the current generation, like they came in on war and spent their upbringing in like learning how to fight and dealing with loved ones being killed. And many of the people will express that they didn't really understand what the war was even about, which in some ways made it even worse to understand like why are we even in this serious conflict, not even knowing what it's for. So yeah, you'll get a lot of stories. You'll be able to establish like consolation for a lot of people. There are a couple, I'll say, that are still a little bit reserved about this whole thing. But you can tell, if nothing else from your passive insight, you can tell that most of that likely seems to be coming from like just wanting to be done with the violence.
Yeah.
And just like being apprehensive because of past experiences. Okay. So we're going to do this. After a few hours, you see in the distance through the mist and fog on the desert this.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Cool windmill.
A windmill popping up, indicating the I guess entrance to this camp that you're going to, and you're met with 4 Warforged pilgrims that greet you as Warden, Defender, Masker, and Saber,
Ooh.
and offer to escort you all to Yellows.
Lead the way.
Hello, friends. And I shake one of their hands.
Hmm.
Uh,
So fine.
this one kind of looks at you. It can't make an expression with his face, right? Kind of inquisitively, and then like looks down and with like a sort of confused hesitation offers its hand out.
And just grab it and shake it. Please take us to see Mercy.
Is this a greeting of your people?
Yes.
He's gonna like turn to one of his companions and like look at his hand and just stick it out, and the other one's going to do the same thing, like look at you, look at him, and do the same thing, and they have this like very awkward, stiff handshake, and then they kind of look at you and just go like this, and two of them lead you guys from the front, the other 2 go to the back and kind of establish themselves on the left side and the right side outside of the group. It would be clear to you guys that this is like a protective formation. And we go into Yalos. We're gonna take a quick one more break.
Okay, but everybody else saw that, right? Like
Yes.
the whole 20.
Yes.
Saw
That
that.
you were greeted.
Oh, that the people, yeah,
The people all saw that and
Yes.
saw how adorable that was.
Yep.
yeah.
They did. Okay, we'll be right back. No. Did
But
not
hey, I
want
am
a
glad
cold
that we
open on
could-
that.
I'm glad that we could at least like quell your mind at the fact that yes, there is a Coneheads movie.
Yes.
There is a Coneheads movie, and I'm glad that you know
Yes.
this now.
I'm glad that we can
Um,
help you with that.
You
Thank
you
you.
are about
Thank
to
you so much.
become even more cultured than you already are, Logan.
Yeah.
You missed this during the break, but I knew that there was a Coneheads movie, but other people I would talk to didn't know there was a Coneheads movie. So
Oh.
I looked crazy for knowing that there was a
Yeah.
Coneheads movie.
You were like, am I being gaslit or am I like fully having like a Berenstain Bears moment of there
Yeah.
not being a Coneheads movie? And it's like, no, you were correct. There is a movie about the Coneheads.
No, but
Well,
adding in Logan's
100%
Run,
right.
that's gonna be
So
I
good.
will
Oh my
say,
God.
I appreciate that you've seen Logan's Run because no one's seen Logan's Run, and it is one of my favorite
Yeah.
movies. And whenever I talk about it, everyone acts like I'm crazy because they're like, "What do you mean Logan's Run? Why do you mean it's? What do you mean it's a good movie
uncultured
that's just
swine.
Yeah, well,
yeah?" It's like it's a utopian. It's a cyber fuck utopia with T.S. Eliot. Like, come on, get it together.
sure.
Yep.
Cyberfuck Utopia. Fantastic word.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we're
Also-
back though.
Hi.
Yeah,
that's
and
right.
the internet should hear about us talking about a cyberfuck utopia. What are we talking about?
Hey, it's great. And Michael York's in it. Everybody likes Michael York.
Yeah.
Okay, so we get to this village. Here's the setup here. This windmill towers above a ruined village. The windmill's sides and blades are reinforced with badly rusted steel plates. And the attached wooden outbuilding is in complete shambles. Some muddy roads separate the mill from the ruined buildings, and in the center of the nearby intersection stands an eroded stone statue of a humanoid draped in colorful scraps of cloth. We are in Yellows.
Ooh.
Oh no, a battle map.
I am not putting all the veterans here, just because that would be so many tokens.
Yes.
But just imagine that among you guys and all the Warforged here is like the veterans are kind of like around, and yeah. So this guy, these two
Mhm.
are escorting you toward the windmill.
Okay.
I think we just gotta follow for now.
Yeah.
I want to take a position closer to the front, so I'll be able to do that brief on Mercy when we get to see him.
Yeah. A general follow of all of the pieces.
But we don't see Mercy at all. He's just not here.
You do not see him yet.
This music is deeply on.
I know, I'm disconcerted.
Did they go around this corner on the left, or did they go around on the right?
They went around this way. That
Okay.
where you pinged is like a completely ruined area. Whoa, this song is way
Okay.
more intense than I thought.
It's really stressful. I'm
It
like,
is. Sorry, let's go back to this. I did not mean. I thought it was like soft.
Yeah,
like
that
the
felt
beginning.
like that felt like we were about to find some shit.
My bad.
I'm
Yeah,
here
there
being
we
like,
So like around this edge then.
Yeah, so they did not go through here. This is all like ruins. The
Okay.
like outbuilding for the mill is just like this little hut looking part looks mostly intact. But yeah, they went around and came around this area.
Yeah.
Let's have who wants to pilot Pumpkin?
I still have Pumpkin's character sheet pulled up. If we wanna.
Let's add you to her tokens.
Hell yeah.
As you pass these two, these are not the ones that were leading you. Sorry, the tokens all look the same, but each individual Warforged does have its own unique look. So you can like recognize which one is which. It's just tokens are all the same. So these two are just kind of hanging out, talking with each other, and then when you turn the corner, they both turn and like nod at you guys.
Mhm.
These two at this door are the ones you've been following.
Okay.
Odyssey, are you staying up there?
No, I just was getting confused.
Okay.
Where did everyone go? That's the
So we're down like around this corner here.
There you are. Hello. Oh my, there's so
Yeah.
many people.
Yep, we're safe. We're good. It's okay.
Okay, it's not ominous sounding, so that's good.
They will into the windmill.
I'm trying to move myself also into the windmill, but clicking is hard for some reason.
There's a door here that you can go through.
Yeah. No, I know that. I'm just having a hard time physically. There we go.
Oh.
Maybe. Oh, it's because I was grabbing Boston, not myself. Maybe.
Oh.
Probably.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Odyssey, that's a hut.
It's. Oh no, I closed it. It's down here.
I have. Okay,
okay.
thank you. Because everything is Okay, there you are. The lighting is really confusing.
Yeah.
I got you.
We're over here. All right.
Hello. Windmill.
Windmill.
Nice. There you go.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay.
We're all in there now.
And then they lead you down. Sorry that this is so tedious, but like I wanted to at least show you guys the map because here.
No, it is cool. It's
It is a cool
really
map.
cool.
So
Is
I'm
it
gonna
doing us a bit of a terror? Maybe.
I'm just gonna outright say this. There is, I think it's fair for you to understand that there is a scenario in which you would be fighting these guys,
Sure.
Yeah.
but you did not do that. So,
Right.
it's nothing about this vibe would be giving you in character any sort of like this is a trap or oh shit we are
Sure.
gonna fight these guys. It's just I wanted to show you the map.
Okay, cool.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
Thank
so they lead you down into this mill, and you can see that like the mill's functional purpose has been gutted. You would expect to see like mill stones, and like I forget what it's called, but like a grinding area in the middle of at least the upper level, as well as maybe down here, for like grinding grains. Right, it's one of the main functional purposes of a windmill. All that's been gutted, and in the upper level you could see like a table or two, and down here it's a very different vibe down here. Along the walls, so these like little half circles are indicating spots. You can see bodies of deceased Warforged lining the cleared out basement. Each body is standing up and like posed in a dignitive way, or dignified way is the word I'm looking for. Like their backs are straight up, their arms are crossed, head slightly lowered. You don't see any weapons. You can see that attempts have been made even on some of them to like patch up like lesions and abrasions, wounds, if you will. But with materials being scarce around here, you can tell that it's kind of a rough job. But a dignified attempt has been made to like enshrine these bodies, not like
Sure.
display them. You know?
Yeah, like laying the comrades to rest.
Yes, exactly. And along the ledge behind them, you can see 6 docents. And Mercy will greet you guys and basically indicate toward them. I wish for your friends to be greeted by our fallen.
Mm.
Sure. Would you like them to come in here? Should we bring you guys outside? I don't know what the best mode of conversation is for all parties involved.
Perhaps I should escort them here myself.
I mean, it's so we ended up bringing the whole team of veterans, which is like it's a good 20 guys.
maybe just the leaders then.
Yeah, that's probably. Yeah, I know this feels like tight for 21 people.
Doesn't feel like there's a lot of space here.
Yeah.
And then maybe one of us should come with you as well to show that it's
Yeah, safe.
not suspicious and
Sure.
good thing.
Okay. Let's do this then. Oh yeah, go ahead.
I would recommend greeting with a handshake.
A handshake.
I taught your comrades earlier.
He'll have like exactly the same reaction, which is just to like look at you and then like look at his own hand.
Oh,
And
here,
then-
I'll
and then, like,
I'll
oh.
demonstrate. And so Alaska will come over and grab Vast's hands and do a handshake. Yeah. So you wrap. It's a light holding of hand, and then like a 1-2, like 2 pump, and then that's it, and then you let go. Not too hard, because I know you guys got some, meaty fists there. Would you like to practice on Bast?
And
She's
so
got
I
a real tiny
extend,
hand, so it's a lot of practice.
And so I extend my hand out again.
I know you can't see this very well with my camera, but like he's just kind of awkwardly looked down and put his hand out.
She holds like one finger and shakes it.
It's just generally a sign of good faith and
Respect.
Yes.
Okay, he's going to go up and converse with Kalith for a minute. And eventually she and 2 others will come back down.
when they were going up, I would have wanted to do that thing that we said where one of us goes with them to show that it's not
bad.
it's not bad.
Yeah.
And then
That's
while
a
we
good
were walking there, I would be telling him about, like, most of these people just want an end to the violence. They're all for it, and just telling him about what the what the general mood was while we were there, or while we were on our way.
Okay. It doesn't take much convincing. I'm using your previous persuasion checking for this because it would feel rude to have like a risk of failure at this point after all of that work.
Right.
You will also notice, you probably noticed it at first, but when you come back down, Mercy indicates to them that being greeted by our fallen is a sign of respect. It's a part of our culture to honor and continue in our lives with those who have fallen. It's also my pleasure to have them witness our exchange and agreement. And he will indicate to the wall, like over here by the, not the landing of the stairs, but like over here is a pretty hefty pile of stuff. You can see like gold plated cups and plates. You can see Alaska, you'll especially clock this, a few like rectangular shapes that are wrapped in leather. It would be obvious that these are like paintings that are being covered and protected.
Sure.
And other general like small gems and coins. At first glance, any of you that's able to evaluate value of things at all could easily tell that there's probably like well over 1,000, 1,500 gold worth of stuff here.
Hell yeah, that's cool.
Hell yeah.
That's great. That's awesome.
Kalith sees that and offers a small leather sack to Mercy. He's gonna open it up, revealing 4 more docents
Yo.
that he'll open the sack and then look at Kalith and just one by one start taking them out and placing them very carefully in like proportionally equivalent spots across this ledge around the room.
Oh, right. Alaska's gonna reach in and grab the docent. Is it still thrumming?
Yes, it is, and it actually feels a little stronger than it was before.
And I'll pull it out and be like, I believe we turned it on by accident, and just hand it out to Mercy once he's put the other 4 out.
I've not seen something like this for some time. What is it reacting to?
Oh, probably our sticks. Like I said, we have when we were talking about needing to find, items across the multiverse. We believe that's why we were sent here. That there might be a third part of this magical stick. She'll pull out the first level of the rod and say, "I believe that this is turning them on."
He's gonna take like a pregnant stare at your object.
Was this a
And-
bad call?
all of the other I'm looking at the other docents when the.
And waiting
stuff
for them
is
all to go
pulled
womp
out.
womp and all turn on. Yeah, I'm waiting for it too.
And then look at and take the docent that is reacting to it, kind of turn it around, look at it, and this is like, to you, the docent is just like, it looks like an orb with some like glass scales on it, kind of thing. It doesn't.
Sure.
But it looks like to him, it's almost like he's like reading it. You know what I mean? Like it's not just looking around and checking it out. He's like
There's
fixated
information
on details.
Sure.
And he like does the Cybertronian thing again, and says something that none of you can recognize, and it starts doing this loud like a droning continuous thing instead of like a pulsing sound. And it and the piece of the rod will flash with a white light,
Oh, okay.
and the rod
Okay.
will continue to glow white while the docent fades down back to its kind of innate state.
That wasn't. I'm sorry. Was that us? I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah, what happened with that?
I believe this will help you find what you are looking for.
This docent or this rod that's glowing bright white in my hand?
He's referring to the piece of the rod. If you may
Okay.
recall,
yeah, I know that they talk to each other.
well, other than that, you had researched that any magic that could be used for finding things and people around here would not work.
Oh,
Right.
It seems that Mercy has utilized the docent to change that for your rod.
yo.
Sick.
How were you able to get past the just this blockage of divining magic?
These orbs I do not fully understand, but I can sometimes talk with them, understand their purpose, and attune them with mine. And they can have effects, at least loosely of my choosing, to other magical items. And then he's going to take this docent and say out loud, like an incantation almost, again in this like language question mark that none of you can understand, and hold the docent like right up to his sternum. And you'll see it like start to shake and rise up out of the palm of his hand and just sink into the sternum of his chest. And it'll be kind of like half exposed, but now it's sitting there as like a gem.
Are you stronger now? Are you more attuned to the magic within the docent?
I don't know. I didn't do that to become stronger. I did that to commemorate everything that is happening today.
Okay.
Now, shall we plan our approach to this Colossus that you seek.
Yeah, that sounds like a great plan. This is also the Colossus that we assume the Lord of the Blades is probably at and or surrounding.
The gray matter engine does seem to be a increasingly famous artifact, so yes, I would expect it to be approached by them as well.
So that's a very ominous name for an object. Why is it called the gray matter? And I feel like I know the answer, but I just want you to say the answer.
The reason we call it that is because we don't know what it is.
Okay. That's better than what I thought was going on. Why is it... what? I forgot the exact wording that you used. To Juice, I forgot the wording that you said about the technology. You said it was more... I think you said...
I believe what I said was that it just seems different from like the standard operation console of a Colossus. It's very vague and generic.
Gotcha. Do you know when this Colossus was made in comparison to the others?
As I said yesterday, they were constructed so quickly relative to each other and only in the final stages of the war. The only way I can tell any sequencing is from the numbering etched in their boots.
How long ago was the end of the war?
Damn it, I knew you were going to ask that and I didn't look it up.
I'm gonna say...
Like 2-ish years, I want to say.
I'm gonna say
I think
3 months. I'm gonna go even closer.
Okay, that... Yeah, 2 years.
Okay.
Only 2 years ago.
So what else do you know about the this Colossus and maybe the surrounding area that would help us know how to best approach towards the Lords of the Blade? This is...
Say that again?
what other information do you have about the terrain and or like what it looks like approaching this Colossus so that we can better plan what we're gonna do when we get there?
The fundamental difference in the terrain will be that this Colossus is in a seated position leaning against the mountain wall. It's not sprawled out in the middle of the expanse, out exposed.
So they have, if they are occupying this Colossus, they have a much easier way to keep guard of it than any of the others.
Yes. I would like to impose a plea that we
Of course.
figure out a way to approach this situation with no violence.
I think that is a great first step. I think it would be very advantageous to us to see if there is anyone in, the group that would be willing to switch hands without violence. But I also would not like to get our hopes up entirely that the Lord of the Blades is going to entirely step down without violence. Just a general expectation, I would assume, based on her name being the Lord of Blades.
And usually when one's establishing an ethno-state, they tend to be very dead set on the extermination of the other
That too.
people there. But yes, full merit to your idea. We would, if that is a possible outcome, we will seek it out. And I'll kind of like turn a little bit towards Caleb at this point and go, we had already discussed trying to work out a peaceful agreement when we had approached the camp, and I would assume that's still an option you'd be okay with exploring, correct?
To Caleb.
To Caleb.
Well, in our case, we may have numbers, but we are flesh. So I think it's obvious after what you saw the other day that, well, we would be willing to fight for the right cause. Not having to would drastically reduce risk of casualties on our end.
But I would also like to impose as well that if it does come to violence, that this is something worth fighting back against. If it does turn to that, the thing that you are fighting for is your existence and your continuance on this plane.
My
It's
people
not
have been
over-
willing to... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say it's not over these forms of monetary gain, and I'm like addressing Caleb to that, and I'll say, and it's not about the whether the correct or incorrect application of cultural artifacts and addressing mercy. It is about the existence of life continuing on this plane here. And that's what comes before any of those other sources of conflict. So we'll figure out the rest later on, but just know that it is okay to fight for this.
My people have been and remain ready to do what is necessary to continue our survival and as peacefully as we can. We are ready to take the same approach with this. Mercy will chime back in. Lord of Blades and her people will not back down from their cause without something of great benefit in exchange for them. Do you have any ideas of what to offer other than our potential show of force to indicate that we could easily overtake them?
They'll get to rebuild their society, one where their children don't have to grow up learning to fight for something that they don't entirely understand, much less believe in. They'll be able to develop their own sense of art and something to appreciate rather than something to defend for its own sake.
Exactly. If Ayun has taught me anything, it's, where life flourishes, you got to stand against the forces that would render it barren. So, yeah.
So we offer their survival.
They're flourishing. The continuation of, again, your kind. I think that there's got to be an understanding, even within the Lords of the Blades, that this can't be a sustainable option if you're still fighting your own kind. And whether they understand that or not, eventually there's got to be a group that eventually one way is going to have to not make it, and it really should be the group that is trying to make all the other groups not make it.
They will be the example for why their motivations are based in a bad faith.
Do you know any of her followers personally?
That's a hard yes. That's absolutely a fucking yes.
It's like his brother, or like there's gotta be a guy.
He's going to look to basically everyone that's not you guys and say, may we have this conversation in private?
Not us.
Him and you guys.
Okay, so we are having the conversation. So you want
Everyone else
Caleb
is
and-
leaving. Yep.
Okay.
And they agree.
Okay.
So here's Mercy.
Oh my
Rest
Oh
god.
Rest of
no.
you, fuck off.
That means it's a
Can-
really important answer.
Can of worms opened.
There's some family drama, which is like our full fucking bag. So
Yeah.
let's
Oh
go.
no!
Yeah, we're
Do
we're
you
so
know
well equipped to
her?
handle this.
Is this
Yeah.
his mom? Like, what's
Is
going
this your mom or your wife, sister?
My money says sibling.
I think it's
Mm.
sibling.
I've not told anyone this before.
Oh no, it's a secret.
no, it's a secret. No.
Oh, bitch.
I can't take you guys anywhere.
I
on?
Hold- Wait,
How do
Wait.
I keep doing this?
That's
wait.
the real
hold on.
question.
One second. We need a group huddle for a second.
Oh god.
If this is a secret, this could turn out so poorly if he forgets who this person is.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Why would I forget?
No.
Hold on. We're group huddling.
We're huddling.
It's-
You're not here.
It's a bunch of metaphysical stuff, and we're trying to discuss what will have your best interest at heart. I
I
promise.
know what I want to know what the secret is. Andrea wants to know what the secret is.
We can
Talk
immediately
in
tell.
character. Don't metagame. Talk in character.
We could. If we don't have to. We don't have to keep it from him. We could immediately tell him again, and it wouldn't be a kept secret from him.
Agreed.
I mean, that's yeah.
We did it to the dog.
We can.
If we did it for a dog, we can do it for our new best friend, Mercy.
Right.
We can do that, but we also know that speaking the secrets gives Vecna an advantage.
Oh, actually, I have a better idea. What if we keep the secret for an amount of time until we get there, and then we can be like, "What, Mercy? Don't you remember that's your blank?" And then like both
That is-
use it for our advantage of both one revealing the secret into the ether so that it does in fact get reknown, right? Is that how that works?
No, because then everyone forgets.
Fuck.
We forget that we knew it, right?
If you expend the secret for the D20 advantages, then the secret is gone. But if you tell the person, if you tell the person who told it to you, then they remember it again.
Oh, well, yeah, we'll just do that.
Yeah.
I was like, it could be worth it to. I thought if we expended it, we could use it back at him. He wouldn't remember it, even though he had just said it out loud. Or is
That's
it?
how it's-
So we
that's how
can't
it's
we
meant.
can't expend it and give him the information back.
Right.
Okay. Well, then, we'll just give the information back. Fuck that secret. It's too important.
Okay.
Right here, right now.
Yeah. Yep.
I did Mercy out. He's here, I promise.
Great.
Yay, Mercy.
Woo. Yeah, it feels bad keeping the secret, but I would still like to know what the information in said secret is.
Okay. Cool. Good huddle.
All right, great.
Sorry, Mercy. There's a bunch of things that are going on with
Again, we
secrets
told
and...
it's the lich. We're sort of cursed in this weird way. Go ahead, tell us. We'll give it right back.
Will it cause harm for me to tell you
Nope.
this.
Nope.
I don't think so.
You might forget for a second, but you'll know again immediately.
Right
It'll-
away.
it'll come
Right
back.
away. We'll give it right back.
Very well. And from however you can, with this thing not being able to really make facial expressions, you can tell that he's like kind of confused.
Sure.
The buffering
Yeah,
symbols
yeah,
appear
yeah.
over his eyelids.
Yeah.
Just the little the little rainbow swirly.
Yeah.
His eyes just become the blue screen of death.
Yeah. Shit's fucked. Please stand by.
Yeah.
So he's going to continue. During the war, I was separated from my closest friend Filch.
Filch?
Filch.
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 Cute.
In the last 2 years, I have done my best to salvage my people, separate from the Lord of Blades and her efforts, and establish a life that we can sustain together. But I have not specifically sought out Filch yet. I fear that he may feel betrayed to the point of actually joining the Lord of Blades. And with that last sentence, you will feel this rush of energy. You have acquired Mercy's secret, and it is specifically that he fears his friend Filch may have joined the Lord of Blades.
Okay.
But
So
he
he
doesn't
doesn't-
forget that he has a friend named Filch.
Right.
Okay, then
So-
that's fine, right?
But wait. So he doesn't know.
Right. So
But-
his secret is that he does not know whether or not his friend has joined the Lord of Blades.
He fears that his friend has joined the Lord.
Right, but
Oh.
but he does not know for a fact whether or not Filch is with the group.
Correct.
And the secret is that he is worried that maybe his friend is a bad guy. That's
Yes.
the most the secret is, not the top half, just
Right.
maybe his friend is bad.
Yes.
We're keeping it. We're keeping it.
But okay,
So
but
he'll
that would-
continue. Wait, what? Go ahead, Logan.
I was just gonna say that, but that could be so bad later on because that could be so much more emotionally devastating if he finds out that is a thing, but he
But he
doesn't
never
think that that's
will.
possible.
But he never
Well, we're
will.
gonna interact.
Well,
I
we'll
assume.
find out if he finds out.
So he's gonna just continue. So when do we? I believe we could make our way to Landro. Even today, if you so wish.
Yeah, what roughly is the how long might you think it will take us to get there?
It will be a full day's travel.
And we're 4, maybe 5 hours into the day now.
Yes.
Okay. So full day as in like a 12-hour daylight day or like a 24 hours full day? Like if we get there, it's going to be nighttime. If we go today. Right now.
Mhm.
I seem to forget.
Yes, I apologize. We
You
have
need
flesh
rest.
do need to sleep. Yes.
Yes.
But I think maybe what would be great is if we are able to stay in your at Yalis. I
Yalos?
forgot
Yeah.
Yalos. Yeah, if we are able to stay here tonight, us and also the veterans, I think this would be a good maybe bonding experience for both of the groups of teams. A nice like doing a friendship, finding out cultural references. We taught you a handshake. You taught us about the respect that is given when we are introduced to your fallen. Like kind of just a general light, nice trading of cultural references would maybe be a good thing to do this today.
Have you heard of moonshine?
Oh no.
Can
I
your
have
body
not.
handle alcohol?
Is this something that you ingest?
Yes.
We do
And it-
not.
It makes your head fuzzy.
We do not
I got
have
some-
the functionality to ingest anything.
Oh.
I was gonna say I've got some tinker tools you could chew on
Oh,
if that
thanks.
might be helpful for you.
Jesus Christ.
God damn it.
Well, if you can't drink out of my wineskin, I gotta give you something.
Oh,
You just. That's funny. That's funny as hell.
oh man.
What do you do for entertainment?
Oh no.
No.
This is gonna be so sad. This answer is gonna be so.
really depressing.
Yeah. They've got one stand-up that tells metal related jokes.
They go and watch a smithy.
Yeah.
We tend to spend our time crafting, maintaining
Ah.
ourselves and our adornments, and some of us take to artwork.
That's lovely.
What sort of art?
Did you have any friends in the war that maybe also did some art?
I had many. And to answer the what sort of artwork question, he'll actually point toward an oil painting that's up on the wall, kind of centered. It's above all of these Warforged bodies, but centered between them. And it's like a 4 by 8 foot canvas.
Yo.
So it's so large that it's actually been fashioned to curve with the windmill's wall. And it's a piece depicting presumably him sort of like at a campfire with a mix of Warforged and human and orc and elf people, including some kids with like his hands outstretched like this, like he's telling a story.
Cute.
I guess we could have like storytelling time.
Yeah.
We could all hang out, do a little fire. One storyteller from one community, one storyteller from another community.
Nice. All right, he'll agree to that. And
Great.
so let's actually shift you guys then.
Yeah.
Let's
So once we get outside, one more clarification on the secret.
Yeah.
So does he still remember who Filch is? Like that he remembers that he was friends with Filch, and he remembers that he hasn't talked to Filch since the war ended.
Yes, the secret is
Great.
he fears Filch has
Right.
joined the Lord of Blades.
Great. As we're walking out, or I think as we're doing story time, and once we get into whatever story time is, Alaska will be trying to ask him questions about his time in the war. Try in the hopes of getting a description of Filch so that we don't hit Filch if he's there.
Right.
Okay.
So, sorry. Originally, my purpose of asking if he knew anyone
Hmm.
was essentially to figure out if the followers of this person were brainwashed, and essentially if we took down the top,
Right.
everyone would go, what the fuck are we doing?
Uh-oh.
Or
Yeah.
if like
it's-
if we take down the top, will someone else replace the top?
Yeah, like how tight's
is
the
it-
ideology?
Like,
Yeah.
is it the scary version where like, no, these people are all choosing to do this because it's something they want,
Yes.
versus
Versus like, is
you
there a
falling
master
into
switch?
group
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
like-
Well, yeah. Or is it like, well, I
And
don't want to
so-
be doing this, but it feels like the only way that like we
Yeah.
as
And so
yeah.
my thought is, yes, this pacifism thing, like I get it, but also can we all agree that taking out this one person or this one being is kind of the way things need to happen
Right.
for the good of society.
Okay,
At
so
the
it
moment.
sounds like
I'm
we're kind of
off- I'm-
expositioning this a little bit,
Yeah.
so that's fine. So
Sorry.
we're gonna exposition this discussion. It would be made clear to you that there's no like hive mind thing going on.
Sure.
So it's not like kill the one bad guy and they all turn off. It is truly like every one of these Warforged that follows the Lord of Blades has chosen to follow the Lord of Blades. Or maybe in some cases could have been violently coerced into it,
Sure.
but that would probably be pretty rare.
Okay.
This is truly like a splinter faction from the Warforged, and the people who decided to follow.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that the best case for this is to just keep extending the hand.
Yeah.
And then when they are the ones who not only reject it but try to cut it off is when we destroy those who want to continue fighting for oppression.
Yeah.
Because
I think that's the right call.
I still think that the focus should be killing her
I would agree.
and trying to avoid her lackeys, so to speak, as much as we can.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just use Filch.
She's a she.
We don't know that we
Yeah,
did.
we
We
don't-
get
Oh, Filch
It's
is
been
not a
2
she.
years.
Filch
Okay.
is
Yeah,
not a
we
she.
found that Filch was his.
because wouldn't that fucking suck?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, I would be happy to be having this conversation with Mercy and Keely
Caliph?
in our group,
Keyleth.
or Keyleth in our group, right? Like, this
Yeah,
is
they're
just
all-
like,
Very open to having this conversation with like everyone that wants to be
Yeah.
involved. Yeah.
Sure.
yeah. So this can absolutely be like not an over the table conversation. Like, this can be an in character
for sure.
conversation.
Yeah, I've been treating this whole thing as like we're not directly role playing every single line in exchange, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
but we're kind of like, when I say expositioning, I mean
Yeah.
we're just talking about the topics we want to cover and the details we want to cover,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's happening in character. That's fine.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So essentially I view this as like we're all just sort of sitting by the fire talking about a game plan for
Yeah.
tomorrow, right? And but yes, I understand your want and desire for peace and pacifism, but as we were walking for no reason, 3 of her kind just ambushed us. So we need to be aware of ourselves at all times. When we offered peace,
I mean,
we were shut down. We offered them the same conversation we offered Mercy, and then they kept hitting us. So we did what we had to.
I mean, I think that is still the effective plan, is to continue offering it, but be
aware.
but be ruthless when they bat it away.
Absolutely. But our main goal should be to
Peace.
Mhm.
To offer that piece directly to her
Mhm.
Yes, yes.
and to try to get to her is what I'm trying to say.
Mhm.
Um, Mercy, are Warforged able to fall unconscious? Or do they just die?
In many ways, our dissension into death from life is very similar to yours. It's truly only the make of our bodies that is different.
Because if we can... If those of you who are carrying close-range weapons don't necessarily need to be killing those if we're trying to make the point that peace is what we're pushing for.
Mhm.
And that would stick to your want for pacifism better. Well, I don't know, what are your thoughts on aiming for non-lethal close quarters combat as opposed to what we would initially do is just kill it as fast as you can?
Non-lethal force does sound favorable, but again, only if it must be necessary.
Just trying to figure out what we want to do with those who are following the orders, because it is really hard to convince somebody that you're trying to fight for peace when multiple other individuals are dying on the battlefield at that very moment. But I guess
Yes,
that
it
is
can
if
be a
we are
delicate interaction.
How do you think we should approach the Colossus? And I'll ask that to both Caliph and Mercy. Because, we want to figure out a way to get this as done as helpfully as possible.
Kalith, excuse me, will pretty much immediately defer to Mercy. And she'll say, our scavenging teams have been near immediately obliterated at any point that her teams have intervened. I don't think that we have any good plans. We also have not had the numbers that we now have collectively. The best I can suggest is that we carefully establish scouts and perimeter if we do determine that it's empty in the first place when we get there. And then Mercy will chime in. That is exactly what I suggest. Use our best scouts to determine if it is occupied or empty in the first place. If it is empty, do exactly that. Establish scouts and perimeter. If it is not empty, perhaps we attempt a capture or some way to communicate with their leader peaceably before anything should happen.
You got all of your compatriots to leave that other Colossus rather quickly. Was that just another language, or was that some form of large-scale communication?
It is a form of communication that I and others of my similar status can make with our followers.
Mm.
It is fairly short range.
Might you have anything that can do it on a long range? Longer range?
I can shout.
All right.
Got it.
Mhm.
Well, we'll figure something out, right?
Make it work.
I think that we're definitely a force to be reckoned with, and we might be getting a little too paranoid about the details. This is mostly directed at the five of us, but we've gone into a multitude of places now where we've had no idea what was going to be on the inside, and look at how we've come out of each of those situations.
Yeah.
I think this will be okay.
I would agree.
Very well. Tonight you rest. In the morning we make our way.
Yeah. Just generally in that like afternoon while we're conversing and like meeting the team and everything, Alaska would also ask about the statue and what it was and what it meant because it seems cool.
That is the founder of Ialos, the village. This, the Warforged people would kind of like take turns explaining these bits and pieces to you.
Sure.
It's the founder of the village. They don't know his name, but they've actually draped the statue with less tattered robes than what they themselves wear.
Okay.
And they would indicate to you that is them like giving respect and thanks to the founders of this village so that they now can use it as their shelter and place of mourning for their fallen.
Cool. Good to know.
Okay, anything else before you guys rest? Go to the next day.
I think so.
Not anything else I can think of either.
Okay,
I think
so you rest peacefully on the event. Surprise attacks on the village.
let's go.
And we will pick up there next time.
Ooh.
Traveling on our way to Landro the Colossus.
Landro the Colossus.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that's gonna be it. So we should be back in 2 weeks, right?
Yes, the
ahead, all right.
4th. That doesn't sound right.
I think it's the 8th.
8th. Yeah,
Eight.
that's what I meant. By
June
4th.
8.
June 8.
Sweet. All right,
Yeah.
we'll be back at that with our approach to the big Colossus with the gray matter engine and what's going on with that.
And Alaska would have tried to get out of them a brief description of Filch so that we don't hit him if we
Yes.
find out that
We
he's
need to
there.
know.
Let's say you have a brief description of him. I will come up with some details before next time.
Sweet. Yeah.
You,
Just so that if/when he's totally there, we don't hit him first.
that would be great if we could just like
If we could just be like, hey,
Try to save the guy. Yeah.
chill out.
be like
Yeah.
your bestie does not
Yeah,
believe
he's
that
the
you are
blue
like
one.
this.
He's got
Come
a
on.
green eye, whatever.
Yeah, like what is the
Yeah.
way that we can tell that this guy is different?
Yep. Okay, cool. So we will be back in 2 weeks with that, and the Thursday before that is when we have All Hail the Queen again at 8:30 p.m. Eastern
Sick.
with the cool group that does the Dragon one. But that's
That's
it.
Dragon 1.
Say goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Goodbye,
Goodbye,
everybody.
everybody.